Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
We're not just about sports. I was very interested to hear about your night last night. You got to tell our viewers what you did last night. I'm really intrigued about what you got up to last night, Moose.
Yeah, it was really, really cool, Rod. I got invited to host an awards banquet for the Professional Interior Design Associations of Manitoba, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. And so that was in Saskatoon last night. Yeah, It was a black tie night. And, the interior design world, they made a joke, to me beforehand. They're like, okay, these people are professionals in their industry. And if you come in and make a joke about the wallpaper and the paint and plush pillows, it will not go over well. They do way more than that. And I'm like, oh, do I know about not telling somebody about picking the drapes, right? And it turned out to be a fantastic night. It turned out we knew some of the buildings that were up there for nomination for prestigious awards, including the True North Sports and Entertainment offices of the Winnipeg Jets, which
they're awesome, by the way. Yeah, they're awesome.
Photos of that lobby, and I'm like, I sat with Rod in those two chairs. So the design firm that designed those offices were up for an award. The design firm that was responsible for that beautiful River Creek Casino that you and Lee were at for the World Juniors in Sarina, that was up for an award and actually won a top 3 in their category. So fantastic night and really cool to be a part of it.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
There's a lot of people in the media business. 2 problems. 1, don't know what they're doing, or 2, are being influenced by somebody above them. We're neither one of those. We know what we're doing, and we're not being influenced by anybody. And I had a long-time radio guy call me this morning, and he just said to me, he goes, man, you guys are killing it, but more than anything, it looks like you're having so much fun. It is so much fun being over here.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It absolutely is. Hello, Canada. Canadian sports fans around the world. Welcome to the RP Show. A brand new week. But a familiar place. We're at the Beach House in Pompano Beach, Florida, on a very special day. It is our annual National Hockey League season preview. We just happen to be, for a second straight year, in an NHL market for it. And I tell you what, you're going to see the Florida Panthers decorations as we roll along with the program over the next 2 hours here on Game Plus Television. And for our listeners on radio, just trust me, we got Florida Panthers decorations on the set, because coming up in moments, Randy Moller will be joining us, the longtime television analyst of Florida Panthers hockey, former Panthers defenseman. Current Florida Panthers forward Nick Cousins is going to be with us, and our hockey analyst Sarina Taylor as well. You got to know her at the World Juniors. She'll be appearing later on in hour 2. But if we can bring in from the sweatpants capital, the NHL's Bermuda Triangle, Darren Moose DuPont, let's rock it. Moose, we don't have a lot of time for this opening segment, so I'll just give you a quick, how was your Thanksgiving weekend, brother?
Top of the world, got to go home and see family, so it was great. Hope yours was good too.
It was amazing, and I tell you what, I'm very happy that the crew here at the Beach House, you tell me, they give us a booster for our signal for the internet, and it just seems like it's strong like bull, as my dad would say, and the broadcast is ready to rock. So, Director Jordan, can you please hit the quick 6 show horn, and we'll get going. Thank you. Listen, it's NHL season preview, but for the most of that, that's a little later on in the show. Right now, let's talk about the quick 6 coming out of Thanksgiving weekend. And number 1, Patrick Mahomes threw 4 touchdown passes to Travis Kelce. The Chiefs overcame an early 17-point deficit, and Kansas City extended its mastery of the Las Vegas Raiders, holding on for a 30-29 victory on Monday Night Football. The Raiders had a chance to march for the winning field goal, but a pass to Devontae Adams that was ruled a catch was overturned by replay, which showed him stepping out of bounds. People are talking about the ending, Darren. They're talking about the roughing the passer penalty on Chris Jones, the Chiefs. At least it didn't cost the Chiefs the game. Unlike our beloved Atlanta Falcons, we're on the radio right now in WQEE Atlanta, cost them the game in Tampa, or at least the chance to win the game. So coming out of week 5, that's that. The roughing the passer penalties everybody's talking about, and the mastery of certain players over certain teams. Tom Brady is now 12-0. I think it's 12-0 against the Atlanta Falcons. He's never lost to them. He's never lost to the Dallas Cowboys either. So there's that, and Houston's beaten Jacksonville 9 straight times. So there's a lot coming out of Week 5 in the NFL. What did you see?
Yeah, there really is. I mean, a couple of wild stories there. And the roughing the passer is something that's going to need to be addressed. And my understanding is that the NFL is looking at it and how they're calling it. I'd rather them be overcautious, and I think that's the stance they're taking. The pendulum always swings to being too much, and now they got to bring it back and hopefully land somewhere in the middle. Hey, your Cowboys keep rolling too with Cooper Rush, and now they're going to continue to be thinking, is this the guy who should take the Cowboys throughout the rest of the season into the playoffs? And how about the Giants beating the Green Bay Packers overseas in the very, very early game? That was good to see too.
Great recap, and I'll tell you what, if we were a football show or an NFL show, I could spend 2 hours on what my football people are telling me today in the NFL. They're not upset at the refs with these roughing the passer penalties. Last week, you had NFL vets on ESPN crying, literally crying. The league doesn't care about us. A week later, they're throwing flags on quarterbacks getting hit. So it's like, what do you want? The refs are calling it exactly the way the NFL has told them to call it. So they're not apologizing for anything today. So we'll move on. Point 2. Can I just say this? The Canadian Football League is cool. For whatever reason, the media in Canada has kind of turned their nose up at it. I don't know why. But coming out of Week 18 in the CFL, here are your scores. In a win and you're in game for Saskatchewan Friday at Hamilton, they lost 18-14, but that game feels like a month ago. Hamilton beat Sask 18-14, and now the Riders aren't in control of their destiny anymore. On Saturday, the Toronto Argonauts beat the BC Lions 23-20, and while Vernon Adams still hasn't thrown an interception for BC since coming over to replace Nathan Rourke, can I ask you this, Darren? Can the BC Lions even hope to contend for a Grey Cup without Nathan Rourke? Because they've won one game, I think, with Vernon Adams. Without Nathan Rourke, they can't beat good teams.
I know, and that's really, really tough. I don't know if it's a confidence thing, if it's getting everybody on the same page. The good news is there's a little time to still get this right. And we know Vernon Adams is a capable quarterback who can win you football games. It's just not happening right now. And for whatever reason, it's not a constant mesh with that group. So I would be worried, but it can be fixed.
It would be a good poll question for maybe later in the week. Can the BC Lions win a Grey Cup without Nathan Rourke? Because it doesn't look like they can, but you make a good point. They still got time. They've clinched a playoff berth. They can figure something out, but overall they haven't been able to beat good teams. Winnipeg routed Edmonton 48-11. I watched it. I don't know why. And Ottawa spanked. Well, they didn't spank, but Ottawa got Bobby Dice a win in his Ottawa debut on Turkey Day Monday, 24-18 over Montreal. I watched the first half. You never know in any given CFL game which half you need to watch. Is it the second half? You're going to come down to the last 3 minutes, or is it the first half where it's over by halftime? You never know. I guess you need to watch them all. But overall, the CFL is cool. I wish more people felt that way. I was driving around yesterday listening to WQAM, the afternoon show with Hockman and Crowder, Channing Crowder, the former Dolphins linebackers on there. And, of course, Darren, the game was on ESPN2, the Alouettes Red Blacks game. So these guys are in their studio. Picture it. I'm driving around listening to the radio. They're like, oh, we have the CFL game on here right now. It's Montreal, Ottawa, because it's not a holiday down here. This is a normal Monday for everybody. So they're talking about the 55-yard line. They're talking about the wide fields and the deep end zones. And Channing Crowder, the Dolphins linebacker, instead of them laughing about it, he's like, that's cool. He really had no idea. He's never even been to Canada, I don't think. But they're like 3 downs and this and that. They think it's cool. And for whatever reason in Canada, the Canadians think it's second rate. Go figure. Rod's rant. Am I ranting? I guess I am. For Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, find everything you need to know about our services, financing, product information, and more at broncoplumbing.com. Randy Moller coming up right here at the Beach House, Florida Panthers alum and TV analyst. Point 3, the Toronto Blue Jays, who led 8-1 after 5 innings and 9-5 after 7 innings in Game 2 of their wild card series against Seattle, are still in shock today over losing 10-9 to the Mariners Saturday night in Game 2 and being swept. So instead of preparing for a do-or-die Game 3 on Sunday, the Jays cleaned out their lockers. And it's the Mariners moving on to face the Houston Astros in the American League Division Series, which begins today. Could you believe what you were seeing Saturday night, Moose? with the Blue Jays peeing that one away.
I could not. I couldn't believe it at all. This was one of the toughest losses to swallow for Canadian sports fans when the Jays do that. And the more information that comes out, the harder it is to swallow as we start to really dissect what happened.
Are you referring to the analytics and why John Schneider pulled Kevin Gausman? Is that what you're referring to?
Well, that's part two. Like, the analytics actually make you more frustrated because they've been running analytics ever since. And they said on that play, looking back at the film, that George Springer, the analytics say, if Bo had backed off, George Springer had a 75% probability of making the catch. 75%. And as Arash Madani pointed out on Twitter, at the very least, that ball bounces, he throws it in, and 1 run scores. Maybe 2. And you still are in a decent spot. But, yeah, the decision to pull, your star pitcher who was rolling at the first sign of trouble, the first sign, when you're up 8-1, that's when you have a cushion and a chance to see, let me see if he can work this out, not yank him at the first sign of trouble.
Well, we'll see how this is viewed by Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro, but it's like you pull a $20 million pitcher to put in a $1 million pitcher. It all sounds real easy for us on Tuesday, don't it? Sounds easy for us, but when you're in the heat of the moment, it's a little different. I didn't see this analytics thing on George Springer at a chance to make the catch. I saw Bo Bichette trying in a playoff game to make a play. That's all. It's not the third inning of a game in mid-June. It's the playoffs, and Bo's trying to make a play. I have far more time for what he did there than the managerial decision that analytics say they should have taken Kevin Gausman out. Anyways, baseball coverage for Edo Japan. From hand-rolled sushi to bento box meals made with their famous teriyaki sauce, Edo Japan's menu has something for everyone. I'm a week away from enjoying Edo Japan back in Canada. Point 4 is today's baseball games. All division series get rolling today, but I'm going to move to point 5 because it is our NHL preseason special today. On the way, Randy Moller, Florida Panthers alum and TV broadcaster, and Nick Cousins is going to be joining us via video. Panthers forward and Sarina Taylor here at the Beach House. The NHL regular season gets going on North American ice tonight with 2 games. The Tampa Bay Lightning, who have been to the Stanley Cup Final for 3 straight seasons, will play the Rangers in New York in a rematch of the Eastern Conference Final, while the Golden Knights will play the Kings in Los Angeles. 4 teams playing tonight, Moose. 3 of them made the playoffs last year. Not my Golden Knights. The Nashville Predators and San Jose Sharks played the first 2 games of the regular season on the weekend in Prague. Preds won both games, and that is not a surprise. So, 6 hours of hockey tonight. I don't know if I can hang in for all of it out here on the East Coast, but I'll be watching as much as I can. How does it make you feel, Moose, that the NHL season is upon us?
Yeah, it feels great. I woke up this morning and I was thinking about this show and who we're going to have on and everything else. And I started getting really excited. The season's here and, making sure that I've got the games ready to go on TV tonight. It's fun. This is a great time of year, and I love it that hockey's back.
Hey, I just flipped up the YouTube feed, and I see there's a shadow on my nose, on my face. There's a pillar right in front of me. I'm trying to stay out of the sun. Jordan really worried me, Director Jordan, last time. He's like, you got to stay. Are you going to be okay in the sun? And they say every time you get a sunburn, it's one step closer to getting skin cancer. So I'm trying to stay out of the sun. But hey, it's television, man. We got to look our best. Checking on the comments from our viewers here, just jumping in here. Andrew Stout says, I read that when the score was 8-1, the Blue Jays had a 99.1 chance of winning that game. That's from Andrew. Didn't we all feel that way? You need a computer to tell you that? Honestly? Allie, watching in Texarkana, Texas, says, let's go Rangers. Why are you cheering for the Rangers, Allie? Jenna, watching in Southern California, says, let's go Buffalo. Well, that reminds me, we're going to get into this a little more deeply later on with Sarina, because the NHL.com came out with top storylines going into the year. And she's like, read them to me so I know what they're saying. I'm like, what? We can figure those out. We don't need NHL.com to tell us. But one of them was, which of Detroit, Buffalo, or Ottawa will make the playoffs this year? And Darren, as you know, in late August, I went out and made all my predictions. I went back and wrote them all down So I can tell you right now, of the three, Detroit, Ottawa, or Buffalo, which one will make the playoffs? I chose one of them, and it was Detroit. But do you think one of those three will make the playoffs this year?
Yeah, I do. I would say Detroit's got the best chance of the three, but I would put Buffalo in there. Those are the two teams I was going back and forth with, and it's apologies to Ottawa, who are just another year away. I feel like they're going to take some strides, but I think it's going to be Detroit that'll make the playoffs out of those three.
Wow, that's two of us. I love it. By the way, Jeff, the Stamps fan, and I do have my Stampeders bell with me here in Florida. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, I heard a rumor Mike O'Shea taking over as head coach and GM in Saskatchewan. I don't believe that. One of the insiders, I'm telling you, man, I could spend 2 hours on CFL talk if you really wanted me to. One of the insiders, that's my key football guys, said Mike O'Shea doesn't have a contract for next year. And I said, I think doesn't mean anything. Now, this was an agent. He knows more about business than I do, CFL business. But I'm like, this is O'Shea being smart, because he's very smart. What do you got to worry about, Darren, if his contract runs out in Winnipeg? They're not firing him. But if his contract runs out and he waits till the end of the year to see where's his best offer, he's in the driver's seat. But he's not leaving Winnipeg. They're probably going to win their third consecutive Grey Cup unless he gets bored, which who does that? Nobody. He's not leaving Winnipeg. He's not coming to Saskatchewan. What do you think about that?
Yeah, the only thing I saw that, could kind of lead to people thinking he might come to Saskatchewan is the coach's cap. As the head coach in Winnipeg, he's somewhat capped with how much money he's allowed to make. But when you look at coming to Saskatchewan, where he can be the head coach, the GM, the president, give him whatever titles you want, that allows you to pay him more money. So it's kind of the only way he can get a raise, unless there's going to be changes in the front office in Winnipeg to allow him to take over dual roles. And I don't know if we see that happening.
That's as far as we're going to go on that. We'll talk football later on in the week, or you can discuss it on Friday when I'm not going to be on the program. I'm going to be in Atlanta, where we are airing on WQEE Radio live daily at noon Eastern. Moose, I'll let you go, other than to say Darren came up with a poll question today, and that is for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center, Capital with dealerships all across the Canadian prairies. Which Canadian NHL team are you buying stock in? I'm not sure how you worded it, but here on the opening day of the NHL season, which Canadian team are you buying stock in? The options are Toronto, Edmonton, Calgary, or other. And the last that I saw on Twitter, the Flames were leading. The Flames had 44% of the vote to lead. Obviously, you're going with Toronto. I'm voting for the Flames because I've said it already. And that's it for the warm-up. Moose, you go have a great day.
You too. Enjoy.
Told you it was going to go fast. When we come back, Florida Panthers television analyst and veteran of 815 NHL games, the pride of Red Deer, Alberta, Randy Moller. It's the RP Show. We're live on Game Plus television across all 10 provinces and 31 U.S. states. Also live on YouTube, your favorite podcast platform. You can find us daily. And live on the radio on your home of Southern Sports and Talk, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Easy snacking all around. something everyone can love.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
All right, you are looking at Pompano Beach, Florida, and we are at the Beach House. It's our NHL season preview. Doesn't that just scream hockey as we welcome to the broadcast longtime Florida Panthers TV color man and Panthers defenseman. He of 815 NHL games, Randy Moller. How you doing, Randy?
Well, great. 815 games.
That's what it says in the yearbook, Jim.
Oh, man, I fooled them for many years, didn't I?
Hey, you came down here and never left. That's the sense that I got. Am I right?
The longest tenured employee of the Florida Panthers. I ended my career here and got in with the community, with youth hockey, and then doing a little color on the radio and then it just kind of grew from there. And 28 years later, here we are.
You literally seen it all.
I've seen it all. Yes, I have.
Right. So these are good.
I've seen the good times, and I've seen the not so good times.
That's why I brought you down here to talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And how you feeling going into this new season?
Good. Yeah, I'm excited. The Panthers last year, they won the President's Trophy and just scored so many goals, and the comebacks, the exciting, the best home record in the NHL in a number of years, and that. Although they've made some changes, they're still the core of the Barkovs and Aaron Ekblad, and of course Bobrovsky in goal, and that it's still there. But there's some new faces on this team. I'm excited how they're going to gel, and of course we got the new head coach and Paul Maurice, who I've known for many years, as you've known, and he's a real good communicator, and he's great for us broadcasters.
Likes to talk.
Because he loves to talk, and he's open. He'll tell you, hey, I'm doing this because this guy is maybe struggling, and I've got to do some adjustments. You love that as a broadcaster, because then you can relay that to the fans when you're explaining stuff during a game.
Randy, with us coming up, Nick Cousins, Panthers forward, and Sarina in hour two. We're going to look backwards first before we look ahead. For those that don't know, Randy's from Red Deer, and I mentioned the 815 NHL games with Quebec, the Rangers, Buffalo, and Florida. I have to ask you this about last season. When Joel Quenneville did step down, how much of a earthquake was that?
It was.
Yeah.
It was, because there was so much unknown. Everybody, Q is one of the, we all know that he's one of the best coaches in the NHL, and the experience and the reputation that he has. And this team, got off to a great start, and it looked like it was going on the rails that they want to, and then all of a sudden that happened. So there was a great unknown. But then, the team just continued on with the style of play that Coach Quenneville had put in, and had the best season that they've ever had. I think that shows the leadership from the guys like Barkov that were here, and even though Huberdeau and Uyghur have moved on, and Aaron Ekblad and that hey, even though we've lost our head coach, we're still going to go.
Sure, but he got through round 1 against Washington and was entertaining and played well, and then in round 2 against Tampa Bay, not as entertaining. A sweep.
Well, you saw signs, Roddy. You saw signs, even though they got past the Washington Capitals. There was a point there where if the Panthers, if Reinhart doesn't score that game-tying goal in game number 3 or whatever, the Panthers are going to be down 2-1, and they were able to come back and end up winning the game, But you saw the offense. You saw, except for Carter Verhaeghe that was scoring all the goals, the team that scored the most goals in the regular season, the Panthers, you could see some cracks. There was things that were happening, and then the power play just went south. And usually they were a top 5, top 6 power play team, and you saw started leaking a little oil in that first series. And then by the time, even though they got past Washington and got in against the Tampa Bay Lightning, they scored 3 goals in 4 games, and they went 0 for 18 or 19 on the power play in that series. It was
a different team. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
And I give total credit to the Tampa Bay Lightning. They played exactly the way they had to in order to shut down. Their game plan was phenomenal in taking away the chances that the Panthers normally would benefit from during the regular season and in the first round. And I've always said it, the best goaltender in the world is Andrei Vasilevsky. And he was just himself and just shut the door, and the Panthers just couldn't get the offense going. It was frustrating. It was really a weird feeling, because doing and covering the games and post games and just run the highlights. The Panthers were scoring 5-6 goals a game all season long, and then all of a sudden you get shut out, and then you score 1 goal the next game, and it's like, wow. It was different territory.
Right, and this is why I wanted to go back and get ahead to where we are. So in order, you get into the off season, and Andrew Burnett does not survive, I guess. They bring in Paul Maurice. I want your take on that. And then the trade. I was in Calgary when the trade went down.
Well, I don't want to quote, Bill Zito, but I think a lot. The game has changed a lot, and we talk about it. And I know fans sometimes but it's all about dollars and cents now, and it's all about salary cap and how you can fit in different players and that. And I think, not speaking for Bill Zito, the Panthers general manager, but they felt that it was going to be very difficult to fit Jonathan Huberdeau, who's an icon down here, and 10 years with the team, longest tenured Panther, and Uyghur, to give those players what they deserve in long-term contracts and the average yearly salary, to fit it all in, with Bobrovsky making $10 million a year. Barkov's contract kicks in now at $10 million. Carter Verhaeghe gets a big bump. Then you go on and on and on, and Reinhart and Ekblad and everybody that I mentioned, probably couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. And the other thing too is, and this is just me, you haven't been able to get past Tampa Bay for 2 straight years. Something's got to change. You take a chance. You got to change the makeup of the team. The one thing that I'm really excited about is Tkachuk coming into the Florida Panthers in that big deal with Calgary, obviously, sign him long term. This type of player is a unicorn. They've used that expression, whatever. The size, the skill, 40-plus goals, 100 points, and plus play that power forward and if needed, go around and maybe punch some guys in the head if needed. The Panthers have never had that type of player like that before. Right? They've never had that type of player before. And there's only a small handful of those players in the NHL. And I think the Panthers, they felt that, hey, we have a chance in acquiring a player like that. They knew that they were going to have to give up quality players on the return, and that's exactly what they did. I'm just hoping, Rod, because this thing has been discussed from every which way from Sunday, that it works out great for the Flames and it works out great for the Panthers.
No kidding, right?
I do believe it will. I think that Tkachuk is going to be a big part of the Panthers for a long, long time.
Yeah, you don't often have to, or always have to say who won the trade. If both teams thrive, that's what you'd like. We'll get to the questions from the viewers in a second. Remind me this one, Ted in Red Deer. Ted Bluas. Do you know him? Ted Bluas from Red Deer. He says, Randy is a veteran of the Quebec-Montreal rivalry. Actually, we'll ask it now. Is the Tampa-Florida rivalry getting anywhere close to that?
It is. It's getting close. The uniqueness of the Nordique-Canadian rivalry was it started with ownership. The Canadians are owned by Molson, and the Nordiques were owned by
Carling?
By Carling O'Keefe. And so there was this rivalry and the beer and everything and the logistics of it, and that it was fun. But every game, Rod, was a war. Every game was a war. And I think we broke the record in ice packs after the game, after every time we played. And we had some great playoff series. It was fun. I mean, as a player, I loved it. I didn't realize how big of an impact it was for the whole total population of the province of Quebec. But when you're right in the midst of that war, it was fun. But the Tampa, there's no love lost between the Panthers and the Lightning. There's respect of what the success of the Lightning have had, but there's no love lost. And I think Tkachuk coming in and having that rivalry with Calgary and Edmonton, it's perfect. He understands the importance of it, so it's going to be fun.
Randy's nice enough to spend an hour with us, by the way, so we'll get to all the viewer questions. I'm trying to get through mine, but I know that fans don't get to talk with a guy like Randy very often, so if you have them, we'll pass them along. But I just want to ask you about Paul Maurice. You've been down here a long time, Randy. You know how American sports fans are different than Canadian sports fans. Mm-hmm. They are. So the people that I've gotten to know here in the last year say to me, here, who's this Paul Maurice? He's never won anything. I'm like, well, he's won a lot of games, but he's never won the Stanley Cup.
No.
Right?
No, yeah, and that's accurate. He's a veteran coach. He's a communicator. As I mentioned when we first started talking, he's great with the media. We can get a lot of insight on what he's thinking and his philosophy and his systems and that. So that's going to be a benefit for us in a selfish way. But he has experience. What is the fourth most
coach games,
and that. So he's had different players and that. He's so excited about taking this team to the next level. Obviously, we just talked about, Rod, where the Panthers have only been able to get out of the first round once in the last 20-some years, that he should be the difference maker in getting the Panthers deep into the playoffs. That's what I think the Panther fans should be excited about, and I know the organization is excited about that. His experience of coaching so many different types of players, and he's not been out of the game long. Obviously, took off left Winnipeg halfway through the season, so he knows the players, he knows the league. I know I just talked to him yesterday. He's so excited about the opportunity of coaching this team that won the President's Trophy.
We've got 3 minutes left in this segment, and then Nick Cousins will join us next from the Florida Panthers via video. But I'll say this. There was so much turnover in the offseason. We talk about the trade with Tkachuk, but how many new faces did you say?
12, 13 players that were on the playoff roster. Not on the team this year. Well, that's just a reality of what the NHL is now, and the salary cap, and you're going to have turnover, but that's quite a bit. And you take a look at the roster and where it stands now, and that. So Paul Maurice talked about that. He said there's going to be some breaking in of and communicating and getting relationships and what works and what doesn't and that. And I think we're going to see in the first 5 or 6 games of the Panther season, there's going to be a lot of movement on the forward lines and the defense pairs.
So I'll tell you what, John Ohm is watching in Winnipeg. This is a teaser for hour 2. He says, Randy Moller, have you ever made a Slapshot movie reference during a broadcast? This guy's very famous for his calls, so we'll wait till hour 2. You got some company here, maybe get some to eat, right? Nick Cousins in next. So
All
I'll
right.
let you think about that.
All
Thanks,
right.
Randy. Appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
All right,
Thanks, man.
Randy Moller, the Panthers broadcast crew. We'll be right back with Nick Cousins in a moment. It is the RP Show on the Game Plus television network across all 10 provinces in 31 states. We're on YouTube Live and on the radio, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Golf, Hawaii, and the Four Seasons. Imagine picking up your clubs and feeling like a pro for one whole week in paradise. Well, you can get that chance this December with 5-star accommodations, a 3-day tournament at a championship course, and loads of VIP experiences. The Pro Leisure Golf Tour is going to make you feel like a pro, even if your golf game doesn't. So whether you're looking to grab your golfing buddies for a tropical getaway or just wanting to find an exclusive VIP experience to take part in, the PLGT is perfect for you.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Live look in beautiful South Florida. The Panthers will open on the road this week at the Islanders. This is supposed to be our NHL preview special, but so far it's been all Panthers. And I'm okay with that. We are live on Game Plus television all across Canada, all across the home province of Nick Cousins on Rogers and Cogeco Cable. We're also live across 31 U.S. states and on the radio WQEE. As I mentioned, it's been all Panthers so far. We're going to keep that rolling with Nick Cousins, a veteran of 444 NHL games, set to start his first season here with the Panthers this week. And he's from Belleville, Ontario. Pleased to have on the program today. Nick, are you all set to open a brand new season, man? How you feeling?
Good. Feel good. I think I can speak for the majority of the guys that We're kind of ready to get things going again. Kind of sick of the preseason stuff, ready to play for real, play for keeps. So really exciting time right now for our team, and guys are excited and chomping at the bit to get going.
Well, and I want to know how you're fitting in with this club. For the viewers that don't know, I mentioned 444 games. That's with the Flyers, Coyotes, Canadians, Golden Knights, and Predators. How are you liking this Florida thing so far in terms of a lifestyle and that dressing room?
Yeah, the guys have been great. Super welcoming. Yeah, just living here. My wife loves it here so far. We just had a baby daughter, so she's 4 months. So she seems to be liking it too as well. So it's been a nice transition coming from Nashville, and just the lifestyle living here. It's pretty easy going, but at the same time, I think it's a sneaky good hockey town. So it's been a lot of fun so far. I've enjoyed every minute of it.
See, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. And we can get into the X's and O's stuff, too. That's always fun. But I've realized it, too. I've been here a year. They love hockey when the Panthers are winning. And I think the plan is for that to happen this year. Like, what do you like about this club? And what's the attitude coming back as the defending President's Trophy winners, yet a team that was swept in round 2? What are you sensing there?
Yeah, I mean... I mean, just speaking from fan base, I mean, everybody wants a winning team. I just think the last couple of years, the Panthers have been one of the best teams in the league. Obviously it starts up the middle with Barkov, and then Sam Bennett, who's had a couple of breakout seasons since he's been here. He's been playing really well up the middle. And then you have a young player like Lundell. And I mean, that's pretty good 3 centermen up the middle of the ice that, that's, for me, I think that's where you win your championships. And obviously we have 2 elite goaltenders, and you have Ekblad, Montour on the back end, and I just think the last couple of years they've had a winning culture here, and it's just something that I'm really excited to be a part of. And I've been fortunate enough to make the playoffs the last 3 years, and I mean that's the most exciting time of the season is when you start getting to play in April and May, and then hopefully into June this season. So, it's just coming and being a new guy. I'm just trying to, not get in the way and just trying to help these guys out any way I can.
It's interesting you say that. I think you saw the tail end of the Randy Moller interview, and he talked about the turnover, and you're part of that group of new faces. And, what led you to want to sign with the Florida Panthers? Clearly it's a good contract, it looks like, for both. But is there still that hunger? And how do you pick up on that, given the fact that you weren't here?
Yeah, I mean, there's always that hunger. I'm 29 right now. I mean, I'm kind of been bounced around a little bit, and I just want to win. That's what drives me every day. I mean, I want to win a Stanley Cup, and I feel like these guys kind of fit the bill for that. I think the last couple of years they probably haven't got the result they wanted in the playoffs, but if you look at Tampa Bay, what they went through before they won their back-to-back Stanley Cups, they got swept in the first round to Columbus when they were the President's Trophy winning team, and they didn't have too much turnover the next year, and they ended up winning the Stanley Cup back-to-back years. So I think this team can kind of follow that sort of path where, they got swept by Tampa last year, but just coming in being a new guy, it looks like there's that hunger and that drive that these guys want to win as well. So it was really an easy fit for me. I mean, it didn't really come down to too much thinking about it. I'm getting to that point in the age where I just want to win, and no better place to do it than Florida.
Absolutely. And the Golden Knights have historically been my team. I'm a long-suffering Golden Knights fan, so I certainly remember your stint there, as short as it was. But I tell you what, Nick, this is going to knot me all day if I don't ask you what leads you to believe this is a sneaky good hockey town. What makes you say that?
That's a good question. I just think, just when I go to the grocery store and stuff, and just driving around, I see some, the Panthers license plates and stuff, and I just think when you put a winning team on the ice, it's going to make the fans come out. And I know, just talking to the guys last year, they said that the crowd was into it in the playoffs. And that's like I said before, it's the best time of year. And it's just like the whole city gets around the team. I know coming from Nashville in the playoffs, and when we got to the playoffs there, the whole city kind of comes together, and it brings everyone together to kind of come watch the game, and whether it's at home or come to the FLA Live Arena and support us. But it's a different buzz when you get to the playoffs. And I think this town can get there. And I know talking like I said, talking to the guys that's what happened last year. I'm just excited to be a part of that. I mean, it's just when the weather gets nice, and especially in Florida, it's no better way to go to a cold arena and watch playoff hockey. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm ready to get going here.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, like I see all those things that you do, and I think that you're a perfect fit for this roster too. But you've played in the Montreal, so you know what it's like when it's sold out every game and the pressure there. And shoot, Vegas is sold out every night too. But here, they want a winner. You do see that Panthers logo in a lot of places, but they don't buy tickets unless you're going deep in the playoffs. Now, so moving forward, with all those new faces that we talked about with Moles and a new head coach, and you're one of the new faces. How much was accomplished in the preseason bringing this new group together? Do you feel ready as a team to open the regular season here Thursday night?
Yeah, I think we're ready. I mean, there's so many new faces, but also at the same time, there's a lot of teams in the league that have new faces as well. So we're not the only one there. But I think the coach has put in a lot of new systems here that maybe that they weren't familiar with last year for the guys that were here. But he's done a real good job of going over video and hammering down on what he wants. And guys have really bought in throughout the preseason. And I think every day, every practice, guys are kind of getting a little bit more comfortable with where he wants us on the ice and what he's expecting from us. And I mean, it might take a few games kind of to get going, but I think once we get rolling here and we start playing every other day, like the schedule kind of sets up for us, it'll be a little bit less thinking and more so just reading and reacting to the game and just going out there and playing hockey and relying on your instincts. And that's usually when teams are at their best. So I think we're there. I think we're ready for Thursday. I mean, guys are excited. A lot of guys have been here since late August, early September, kind of getting ready, getting familiar with everyone. And there's a lot of new faces, but at the same time, it seems like the four guys that are here, it's been a really tight group and really easy going, and it's been a lot of fun, man. It really has.
Yeah, it's a great place. You've been in this league long enough and been a fan your whole life. Let me ask you this. How important is a good start, first 10, 15 games in your mind?
Well, it's funny you say that. I've been in a league where we started 8-1 when I was in Arizona, and you're playing catch up. You I know it's cliche and everybody says that a good start's important, but it really is. You can't get behind in this league. It's too hard, especially when the schedule gets into March, April, and then when you're playing like 14, 15 games a month, and I mean it really is tough to play catch up. So I think we have to get off to a good start. And me personally, I like starting on the road. I think it's nice to get all the guys together for dinners and stuff and kind of, get to know each other a little bit. I think have that chemistry off the ice, and everybody gets along in the dressing room. So it'd be nice to get to know each other on a personal level on the road, and then go out there into some tough buildings and get some wins. I think that's kind of where you build your camaraderie, and that's how you bring a team together, is go out there to the building and play in some really tough buildings. And it's usually sold out. I mean, home openers are usually pretty packed for most buildings in this league. So no better way to start in New York, and it should be a fun one.
Hey, we have less than a minute. I just want to ask you this. I was at the home preseason games here. Pomo was mixing and matching the line, so I don't really know who's going to start here in Game 1. Who they got you with here in Game 1?
I'm with Hornquist and Lomberg. So those guys are fun to play with. I mean, they're really predictable, and I feel like that kind of suits my game. And hopefully we can be a good line and build some chemistry here as the games get going.
That is a line that I think can do a lot of damage. Nick, this has been awesome, man. I appreciate it. Good luck, and I hope you're a Panther for a long time.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Nice meeting you.
You for sure. the Florida Panthers' Nick Cousins. When we come back, we'll take a look at the sports update, maybe a bit of a viewer takeover, and in hour two, more with Randy Moller on our NHL season preview. We'll actually look around the league, and Sarina Taylor will join us as well. We're live from the Beach House in Pompano Beach, Florida, on the Game Plus television network, YouTube Live, your favorite podcast platform, and on your home for Southern Sports and Talk, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
It's the RP Show, opening a brand new week for us after observing Canadian Thanksgiving. Look at that. Who isn't thinking hockey? When you look at that, we're live from the Beach House, Pompano Beach, Florida. And I got to say, the biggest Panthers fans here in South Florida reside here at the Beach House. After that, if you're ever in South Florida, they'll put the Panthers game on. We do have comments from our viewers, which we'll get to in a moment. More with Randy Moller coming up in hour two. Plus our NHL and hockey analyst Sarina Taylor coming up, but a sports update on this Tuesday. The Canadian Premier League has announced the schedule for the semifinal round of the 2022 CPL playoffs. The top 4 teams from the regular season: number 1 seed Atletico Ottawa, number 2 seed Hamilton Forge, number 3 seed Calgary Cavalry, and number 4 seed Pacific FC from Victoria will compete in home and away series to decide who will advance to this year's CPL final. Ottawa faces Victoria. Hamilton takes on Calgary in the other. For the complete schedule of games, which begin this weekend, go to the league website at canpl.ca. I will say this to our Calgary viewers. It's Saturday at Atco Field. They get going with Game 1. The Brandon Wheat Kings gave extra thanks to goalie Carson Bjarnason on Monday after he stopped 41 of 43 shots to help his Manitoba squad defeat the host Calgary Hitmen 3-2 in the lone WHL game. Nolan Ritchie's power play goal at 10:37 of the third period was the winner. And former Masters champion Hideki Matsuyama says players who left the PGA to compete in the Saudi-funded Live Golf Series should be entitled to earn world ranking points. Matsuyama also suggested he was staying with the PGA Tour. He was speaking at the Zozo Championship in Tokyo. That tournament opens on Thursday. This sports update for Edo Japan. From hand-rolled sushi to bento box meals made with their famous teriyaki sauce, Edo Japan's menu has something for everyone. So there's your sports update on this Tuesday. And lots of comments. Thank you, Allie in Texarkana. Says, good luck, Nick. What a great guy, huh? What a great guy, Nick Cousins. And what a great organization, the Florida Panthers. Clark, have we ever had a live Vegas Golden Knights player on the show? I don't think so. Right, we had Vincent Trocheck of the Carolina Hurricanes, yes, but I don't know, man. Connor Ingram of the Nashville Predators. True that. But it's a small list. Is that what you're telling me? It's a small list. So I just say thank you to the Panthers quickly becoming my favorite NHL team. How about my favorite Eastern team? Vegas remains my favorite Western team as they open a brand new season tonight. Las Vegas remains our number 1 city for U.S. viewership, however, so there's that. From the text line, 902-518-3033 is the number to text. From Patrolman Pete in Winnipeg says, hello, RP show. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Mine was spent with my wife and kids watching the Winnipeg Ice play the Regina Pats and Moose Jaw Warriors. To say that we had a great time was an understatement. We loved the games, the arenas, the atmosphere, and the tons of friendly fans we ran into. Going to a WHL game in Sask is such a great experience that we're already planning our next trip. Cheers, signed Patrolman Pete. I agree. And I'll talk to Moles about that when he comes back in hour 2. I just wish there was more media coverage. I don't know what's happening in the Canadian media landscape, but the media, in a lot of ways, turning their nose up at the CFL, certainly junior hockey. I can't find any blogs to read. Last minute of play in hour 1. Last minute. And we had John in Edmonton was saying, well, there are podcasts on the dub. Yeah, but I'm not really a podcast guy. I'm not going to listen to one. I want to read a blog. Or am I just that old guy that wants to read rather than be read to? Chris in Heidelberg, Ontario, watching on Game Plus television, says, I said last week when they had Matthews and Marner throw out the first pitch that it would likely curse the Jays to not get past the first round. Bad karma. How about that, Clark?
How about that?
John in Rosetown regarding the Riders, he says, poor GM, weak coach with subpar O-line and a fullback converted to a quarterback. Awful. Won't get it done for the Riders. Clean house now. We'll talk to the rest of the NHL with Moles and Sarina after this break on Game Plus and WQE.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Golf, Hawaii, and the Four Seasons. Imagine picking up your clubs and feeling like a pro for one whole week in paradise. Well, you can get that chance this December with 5-star accommodations, a 3-day tournament at a championship course, and loads of VIP experiences. The Pro Leisure Golf Tour is going to make you feel like a pro, even if your golf game doesn't. So whether you're looking to grab your golfing buddies for a tropical getaway or just wanting to find an exclusive VIP experience to take part in, the PLGT is perfect for you.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
There's a lot of people in the media business. 2 problems. 1, don't know what they're doing, or 2, are being influenced by somebody above them. We're neither one of those. We know what we're doing, and we're not being influenced by anybody. And I had a long-time radio guy call me this morning, and he just said to me, he goes, man, you guys are killing it, but more than anything, it looks like you're having so much fun. It is so much fun being over here.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hello, Canada and Canadian sports fans around the world. Welcome to the RP Show, live from the Beach House in Pompano Beach, Florida. We are live on Game Plus Television, which, by the way, all across Alberta on TELUS Optic TV there, NBC, Bell MTS Cable in Manitoba, SaskTel Max in Saskatchewan, Rogers Cogeco Cable in Ontario, and East Lincoln Videotron in Quebec. By the way, from Ken Friedman, watching on YouTube, says, if I'm looking at the right place, the location Rod is at is beautiful. Rod could put a link and even take us on a tour. They should be a sponsor. I agree. Well, they kind of are. They let us eat for free. Randy Moller is here, Florida Panthers television analyst, former Panthers defenseman. You're a regular here.
And for all you fans tonight, too, I live 5 minutes up the road in Hillsborough Beach. So I'm here. I've come to this place a number of times.
An easy shot for you then. Hey?
Yeah, it's easy. I'm just right up A1A.
So we were telling the viewers this was supposed to be our NHL preview. Hour 1 was all Panthers, and that's fine, as you can see by the
Where'd you steal those from?
I go to all the games, as you know. I take them off the seats. Don't tell anybody. Well, they're great with gifts and stuff.
Oh,
They do a
absolutely.
great job.
All the giveaways and that. Yeah, the rally towels.
Yeah, exactly.
And that. Yeah, the fans love them.
Yeah, so, but let's talk a little more. The NHL season opens tonight, obviously, with a doubleheader. Tampa Bay Lightning at the New York Rangers on ESPN, followed by the Vegas Golden Knights at the LA Kings. Will you spend 6 hours in front of your television watching?
I'll watch probably the first game, and that maybe the start of the second game. You know, Rod, I'm not 40 years old anymore. I mean, I got to go to bed. I got to get my beauty sleep. But we fly out tomorrow. We start on Thursday at the New York Islanders. So and play 3 on the road. So I need that beauty sleep. I can't. You don't get the looks. You can't get the looks like this if you don't get your sleep. You know.
But I'll tell you, Nick Cousins said last hour he's been on teams that started hot and teams that started poorly, and he feels you got to get a good start in the NHL. You agree?
I think so. And you're talking about the Panthers specifically. Their schedule, the first 13 games of the year are pretty good. They're playing teams that maybe didn't qualify for the playoffs last year and that. So hopefully they need to get off to a good start. They got off to a great start last year and that. The old saying, and it is a cliche, but you can't win the Stanley Cup in October, but you can surely put a dent in your playoff chances if you don't play well the first 7, 8, 9 games.
So if we talk about the NHL overall, you guys had won 12 straight at home to start the year, and 13 would have been a record, right?
I think so,
and
yeah.
Seattle came in and beat you.
Yes.
And Jordan Eberle's a close friend of mine, and he said the Kraken work hard. For the benefit of our Seattle viewers, where we're carried on TDS cable out there in Washington and Oregon, do you think the Kraken will take a step forward?
I think they will. Yes, yeah? I think so too. I mean, last year was a tough year, and like every team, but there were certain teams that the COVID really hit the teams at certain times of the season that didn't help their cause. And that I think the Seattle Kraken, I think Ronnie Francis, good friend of mine, and they're going to stick with that game plan. They're going to be patient, but I do believe they'll take a step forward.
There was a question, it came up at NHL.com, storylines going into the year, and one of the points was of Ottawa, Buffalo, and Detroit. Mm-hmm. Which one will make the playoffs out of those 3 that are getting better, but how many will be that much better?
I like to say that the Ottawa Senators, all 3 of those teams improved dramatically over the offseason. I think they've closed the gap from the top 4 teams to the bottom 4 teams. They're not going to be gimme games anymore where you see the Toronto Maple Leafs and Tampa Bay and Florida Panthers winning 90% of the games against Buffalo and Ottawa and Toronto and Detroit. Mm-hmm. I think those days are over. I think these teams have made some significant moves. Their young players are a year older. It's a young man's game. And I think that what Ottawa did in the offseason was phenomenal. And I'd be very excited if I was an Ottawa Senators fan at their chances of but remember last year with Ottawa, they went through that horrific, middle of October till the end of November. Where
killed them. Yeah.
It just killed their whole season and although they played much better in the second half, they never could catch up.
Jeff Cabillas watching in Winnipeg. I probably have quadruples, maybe more, of hockey cards of Randy Moller with the Rangers. LOL. Watching, I think. Well, mine are with
that was
Quebec.
One of my teams that I ruined. I like to tell the story. When I got traded from the Quebec Nordiques to the Rangers, the next year they moved to Colorado and won the Stanley Cup. When I got traded from the Rangers to Buffalo, the next year the Rangers won the Stanley Cup.
You're the good luck Chuck.
And then when I retired from the Florida Panthers, that was the year that they went to the finals. You see, there's a trend there. There's a kind of a trend that when I'm not around, they seem to take off.
The good luck Chuck of hockey. We got him here, Randy Moller. And listen, while we're at it, I don't know where I was the other day, but I heard the song down here, "The Booth is on Fire." First time that I ever, your old line you used to say, the booth is on fire.
Oh yeah, the booth is on fire. Yeah,
that's from a song.
Yes, yeah. I don't know what song it is, but David Booth.
He was on fire.
Yeah. They had that one great year, and then remember the next year he got that bad concussion and in Philadelphia, and that really set him back or whatever. And it's unfortunate, but that's what happens. Injuries are a big part of the game, and we've seen a lot of promising young careers get sidelined because of injuries and that.
Well, what I meant by that was when you were famous for your calls, right? Mom, meatloaf.
Yeah, Mom, the meatloaf. Yeah.
How did that come about?
Quick story was, number one is at that time the Panther. I was doing play-by-play on the radio, and the Panthers were not very good at that time, and it was tough, and to try and keep the interest of the fans and my personality. But anyways, for those fans, Dan Le Batard, before he became really famous, and that he had a local radio show, that's where our games were on, and his show would run right up to the start of our pregame show. And he said to me, Moller, I don't want to talk about your Panthers or whatever. Let's talk about other stuff, pop culture or whatever. And then on his show, he used to get some of his guests to say some stuff. And then when they would say it, Dan Le Batard would say to me, if the Panthers score, will you say this, like Ma the meatloaf? Or
That's how it started?
That's how it started. And my rules were, as you know, I'm not doing anything political. Obviously, I'm not doing anything that's racially sensitive, and that I'm not interested in that. Or that everybody's just going to have fun. And as long as the fans enjoyed it, as long as it didn't step on anybody's toes and everybody was having fun with it, I would continue doing it. And it just exploded. And
all over the NHL.
Right? It was on the Howard Stern show,
Yeah.
and every city that we would travel to, the morning shows and the rock morning shows and the sports morning shows. You know, I was doing all these interviews, and they want to ask about these goal calls and that. The funniest thing though is, Rod, is they would give me some of this material, like Mama cooked the breakfast without no hog. Now that's from a rap song or whatever, which I have no idea.
Yeah, I missed it. Yeah,
I have no idea. So I would just shout it out, and that's what it would make it so much more funnier, because the fans whatever knew that I had no idea where that came from. Oh, we had so much fun with that, and it was a good time, and the fans enjoyed it, and that. And so,
well, and the original question from John, I kind of doctored it, but it was, have you ever used a Slapshot reference? I'm sure you've used a million.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Reggie, get the power play going. Yeah. Working on it.
Did the viewers get it?
Yeah, I think so. I think some of the pure hockey fans, and that, what a great movie that was, and some of the scenes and some of the sayings that are, trade me right now and hang up the phone. We're missing a couple words in there, but
yes.
Trade me right now. And
well, speaking of, Nick Cousins last hour said that this is a sneaky good hockey town.
Oh yeah.
Why would you guys say that?
As a hockey town?
Yeah.
I think the success that the team has had and the commitment from the ownership, the Viola family, have come when they took over this team. They knew that there was going to be a couple of lean years, but they were going to build this team right, and not only on the ice, but in the community and their involvement in the community. And I think that resonated through the fans down here. They realize that this ownership group are here for the long term. And they're gonna do right in the community. They're gonna be good corporate citizens, and they're gonna build through the draft, be patient, and build a team that the fans can be very proud of. And they've done that, and they continue to do that. And I think too that the style of play that the Panthers exhibited last year, that run and gun and offense and scoring 5-6 goals a game, it's exciting. I mean, it's exciting for me to broadcast. I know it's exciting. And the Panthers, what were they? 36-6 on home ice.
Yeah.
Every night was
important.
a party.
That's
and
important.
They were averaging 6 goals a game. You can't get any better than that. And that's why, you asked me, is this a hockey town? The fans down here, and what we're talking about is casual fans that didn't grow up with the game like you and I did in Canada, and a lot of our fans that are listening in that. Down here, you've got to. This is a event area down here, like with the Miami Heat when they got Shaquille O'Neal and when they got LeBron or whatever. It's showtime. They want to be entertained. They gravitate to things that are sexy. And right now, the Florida Panthers, after the season they had last year, minus the loss to Tampa, they're sexy and they're fun to watch, and they got good guys on the team, and that very personable. And we try and translate that and emphasize that in our broadcast, Steve Goalie Goldstein and I on television.
And you do. It's a very positive vibe around the hockey club. And the thing is, Randy, you come to Canada enough and you're from there, people laugh at Florida. The 5,000 people that go. Well, if they win, the barn's full. U.S. Thanksgiving last year, Philly was here. The barn was full. And do you guys care what the perception is? Because you're having so much fun. You get, I think, pretty good media coverage. Like on WQAM, they're talking Panthers a lot.
Yeah,
it's good.
It is. And, last year I think we averaged, 15,000, a little over 15,000 a game. Now, you're going to get, and no disrespect, please, no disrespect. We're going to get the tonight at home against the Winnipeg Jets or whatever. The fans just aren't, they don't really have that much recognition with maybe Winnipeg or one of those games. But when the Rangers come to town and Toronto, Montreal, the place is packed, and there's a lot of fans here, a lot of transplants from other places, and that we get a lot of Canadian fans come in, a lot of Toronto Maple Leaf fans, even Ottawa's is kicked up as well. So it makes it fun, and because the team has success on and off the ice, I think that translates to the fans. They really gravitate to this team, that this is something that they want to follow, and this is something that they want to support.
Speaking of, my last question to you, I think it will be my last because I think your burger's here. Our poll question today for Capital Auto Mall, Universal Collision Center, Capital dealerships all across the Canadian prairies and the state of California. Which Canadian team are you buying stock in right now? And we have 4 options: Toronto, Calgary, Edmonton, or other. I voted for the Flames because we broadcast this show half the time from Calgary, but they're a good team. To me, I think Calgary's the best team in Canada right now. Who do you think? Who would you vote for?
Well, Calgary, Edmonton, and Toronto are the 3 top teams. It's so perplexing that Toronto just can't get out of the first round of the playoffs, but boy, oh boy, can they score goals, and are they exciting, and they are top end heavy. Matthews, and it just goes on and on. Don't sleep on the Toronto Maple Leafs as being the top team in Canada this year.
Going the furthest?
Yep.
Winning the Stanley Cup? Is that because of the knocks they've taken in the playoffs?
I think they've learned. Learned the maturity factor. I think the moves that they've made. I think that obviously the big question is goaltending for the Maple Leafs. But I just like their roster and the way they play the game, the exciting way. A lot like Edmonton, where it's run and gun and go go go. I just don't think that the Maple Leafs get the respect. I think they're going to have a great regular season. We'll just have to see what happens in the playoffs.
I lied. We've got 2 minutes, so I just got to ask you, for the benefit of all the new viewers in Hour 2 watching here on Game Plus Television, Matthew Tkachuk. Canada, they want to know about Matthew Tkachuk and how you think that he'll fit in here. And the lack of pressure. He couldn't go anywhere in Calgary, right? And the media was on his butt all the time. How much different is that playing here?
Well, he's mentioned it. He's mentioned that, he absolutely enjoys it down here. And you maybe you're not in the spotlight as much when you go out after practice and maybe go for dinner with a couple of the guys or whatever. Yeah, you're going to sometimes get recognized, but overall you can kind of hide in the shadows a little bit down here. I think he enjoys that. He's going to be a big factor for the Panthers. I mean, if he gets that 40 plus goals, 100 points, and plays the way that he can and drive into the net and causing all kinds of havoc out there, fans are going to love him. I think he's going to be really comfortable. They're going to put him in a position to succeed here. Looks like he's going to start the season playing with Bennett. And I noticed in training camp and that they've had some good chemistry in that. I'm excited for him.
Second line?
Yeah. Yep.
And first power play unit.
And the first power play unit and that. So he's going to be a big, big piece of if the Panthers continue to have the success.
This gone by way too fast. Randy, thanks, brother.
Enjoy anytime. Love the show. I love that you're so popular all over and that, and with your program and stuff like that. A big part of helping promote the game. That's what it's all about.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
We'll continue. Sarina joins us next live from the Pompano Beach House. You're watching on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and on the radio, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Talking sports in paradise. That's what we do. The RP Show, episode number 859 of your favorite daytime sports talk show is on the air. Got to give a shout out to our guy, Ryan O Radio. He's watching, actually listening in Atlanta. He says, text Rod at 902-518-3033 and welcome him to the family, NHL Sports. That's Ryan from your home of Southern Sports and Talk, 99.1 FM, Metro Atlanta. I'll be there on Friday. Come by and say hey. All right. You're not Randy Moller.
I'm not. Close.
We have our hockey analyst, Sarina Taylor, joining us here at the Pompano Beach House. Wasn't the last time I saw you. You came on video chat here on the anniversary of the story coming out of you being the first ever female WHL play-by-play broadcaster. Before that, the World Juniors. Are you ready for hockey season?
I think the way we talk, it's always hockey season for us. But yes, definitely ready to get rocking.
Well, doubleheader tonight. The Tampa Bay Lightning at the New York Rangers, followed by the Vegas Golden Knights at the LA Kings. Before we get into those games, the shirt that you're wearing, you've been down here long enough. What is it, 5 years, 6 years?
I've been in South Florida for 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
Nick Cousins was with us last hour, Florida Panthers forward, and he's new to the team, but he said this is a sneaky good hockey town. How would you feel about that from Nick Cousins?
I I wouldn't necessarily, that's not the first adjective that would come to mind to describe South Florida, but I think it's a little different when you're immersed in the hockey culture. Like I was talking to Randy before he came on, and it's a totally different vibe back in Canada. We were talking about how we were both home over the summer. He's like, it's way different. But if you're in the hockey world, you kind of have that connection here. So, I mean, I guess he would be in it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm checking the viewer comments. Jeff Cabillas in Winnipeg. She's way better looking than Randy. Sorry, Randy. LOL. Corey May says, hopefully Paul Maurice is reinvigorated in Florida and has a playoff recipe for the Lightning. Wayne in BC says, great interview, Rod and Randy. Thank you. Allie in Texas says the same thing. John Kirby in Edmonton says, can we talk about the new streaming service called Oilers Plus? I didn't even know about it. You being the Oilers fan in the house.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about Oilers Plus?
Well, it's a kind of a behind the scenes. You can subscribe to it. I haven't officially done it yet, but you can go watch like pre and post game stuff. To me, it's a great marketing idea. I mean, why not? For someone like me, I have ESPN Plus. So down here with ESPN Plus, you can watch everything. You don't need access to NHL.com. So having Oilers Plus would be a huge benefit for me because I can watch it whenever I want.
There you go. If you want that much Oilers coverage, which you do, Allie in Texas says, amen, it's always hockey season for me too.
That's right, Allie.
We went and checked out NHL.com this morning, and one of the storylines going into the season from NHL.com is, will Jack Campbell lead the Oilers to the next step? And you being the Oilers fan, judging by the shirt, of course, how would you answer that? Is Jack Campbell the missing piece?
It's too hard to tell. It's too soon to tell, in my opinion. Anytime a goaltender goes somewhere new, it changes the entire dynamic of the team, I think. It's a little different when you're changing your goaltender versus when you're changing anything else. It's just too hard to say. It's not going to hurt if that helps.
You think it's an upgrade, obviously.
No comment.
Well, no comment is a comment.
Yeah, is it ever?
Well, interesting answer from Randy Moller last segment when we talked about which team are you buying stock in the most right now. Our poll question for Capital Auto Mall, Universal Collision Center, Toronto, Calgary, Edmonton, or other. He said the Leafs. He said, do not sleep on the Leafs. He's a big fan. I guess we know where you're voting.
Well, I agree with him. I mean, you just never know. The Leafs have it on paper, so it's kind of hard to tell. Randy admittedly grew up a Leafs fan. Told me, I was like, you grew up in Red Deer. Talk to me about this situation. It's like, well, I grew up a Leafs fan. And then when Calgary got their team, he's like, I was like, let's stop the conversation. But no, he said, they have a lot of relatives that go between both cities. But I agree with him in the fact that you can't really count the Leafs out. I think the past dictates usually when people count the Leafs out, and fair enough. It's a fair argument. But, my Oilers probably had a little better season in the postseason than even I probably thought that they could. So you just never know what's going to happen.
Andrew Stout. He's a Montreal Canadiens fan. He says, bonjour, Rod. I'm curious of what Sarina thinks of Martin St. Louis as coach of the Habs. Merci, Sarina.
Oh,
over to you.
100%. That is the only guy that should be coaching the Habs right now. 100%. Montreal, in my opinion, should never stray away from their roots. They've always had French players, French captains, French head coaches. They went back to it. That's what I would want. If somebody asked me who I wanted to coach the Oilers and it was between a Swede or a guy from Edmonton, it's going to be a guy from Edmonton. I just mean somebody who's not from there. I think he's great for them. Perfect guy to coach them. Absolutely.
I agree. I honestly do. Going through the comments here, Wayne in BC says, remember, Jack Campbell was the Leafs goalie for the last few years, so is he an upgrade? JT says Jack Campbell will get the Oilers the wins, but not sure about taking him to the Stanley Cup. It's a good point, but it wasn't goaltending that cost the Leafs in the playoffs last year, I don't think.
Or the Oilers, to be fair, or the Oilers.
Definitely not the Oilers.
I wasn't a huge Mike Smith fan, but he wasn't the problem, and I realized, they had to do something. They're not trying to to put a Band-Aid on something that wasn't there. They just needed a goaltender. And I agree. I don't think the Leafs, they just tend to self-implode no matter what the problem is. Somebody just dropped 100 plates, I think.
Yeah, we're live from the Beach House here in Pompano. Hey, Thad, shout out, Thad. Thanks for having us here today for NHL Talk. He was not nearly as interested for the NFL and CFL personnel we had last week as we were for the Panthers today. So thank you, Thad.
And he's not here. He's on
he's
day
his
off.
day off. Yeah.
It's okay. He's forgiven.
Jeff in Winnipeg wants to know, he says, does Sarina have any hockey-related ink?
I do. I'm not going to flip my leg up onto this counter, but I do have a Hockey Canada logo on my ankle. Fun fact, that was my first tattoo. Fun fact, I lied when I said how old I was when I got it. I was a senior in high school.
All of this Canada stuff would probably qualify as hockey?
No, it's more seasonal.
Okay, and the number 99.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I do have a 99 as well.
Speaking of, back to the hockey talk on our NHL season preview, another point that came up from NHL.com, and actually Gary Bettman addressed it this morning on ESPN's Get Up in a one-on-one with Mike Greenberg, was the chase, Ovi's chase for Wayne Gretzky's record. I think they said he's 21 goals behind Gordie Howe for number 2 all-time and over 100 behind Wayne Gretzky. It's still a tough question whether he's going to hit him or not.
He's not going to catch Wayne. No, the hockey gods will never let that happen, and I said that last year. It's not going to happen. Sadly, I think he'll pass Gordie, but when you really think about it, Ovi's still, let's call it 3 good goal-scoring seasons away from actually catching that. He needs a 40-goal season every year for the next 3 years, and I don't see that happening.
Will be fun to watch. Right? And listen, he's showing no signs of slowing down.
The guy is an animal. He's an absolute animal.
B. Henderson, watching on YouTube, says, are the Seattle Mariners Canada's team now?
I doubt it.
We've had a few people write in with baseball questions, and because that's the most recent one, I'll allow it as the division playoffs get opening today, and I'll bring up the schedule here in a second. No, the Seattle Mariners are not. But I don't feel like it's a whole lot different than Mo Egger. Like, our Braves are already playing as we air in Metro Atlanta on WQEE, and they're trailing the Phillies of the first inning in Game 1 of that ALDS. Mariners at Astros, Game 1 at 3:37. This is all Eastern. Cleveland Guardians at the Yankees at 7:37 Eastern, and then the Padres at the Dodgers. What a series at 9:37 p.m. Eastern.
That's going to be a war.
Of course, a classic NL West series there. But it's like when Mo Egger was on from Cincinnati last week. He's like, in Cincy, if the Reds aren't in the playoffs, nobody cares. And I'll be honest with you, with the Blue Jays out, I'm not going to be following it as closely. Maybe that Padres-Dodgers series will be the one, but the games are so late.
The games start, or they end when I'm waking up to go to work in the morning. They're definitely later. I don't know. I'm a big baseball postseason fan. Love it.
So you were cheering for the Blue Jays.
Of course.
So
now? As my dad would say, as long as them stinking Yankees lose, I don't care who wins. I tend to agree with that, but I guess I'll pull for the Padres.
Wayne in BC says, Sarina, who are your picks for the Stanley Cup final and who wins?
That's a tough one. I don't usually pick every year, and we've had this conversation before just because it's always so up in the air. You never know. I feel like Colorado has a pretty strong chance of at least going back to the final. But again, there's another team that changed their goaltender up. So it's really tough to say. They lost Kadri. It ain't going to be the Flames. That's all I'm going to say. It's not going to be the Flames, and it's not going to be Tampa. That's who I'll say it's not going to be.
Well, your biases are getting in the way there. Tampa's been in the last 3 straight Stanley Cup finals. Why would they not this year?
What do you mean?
Tampa Bay Lightning have been in the last 3 straight Stanley Cup
finals. Why would they not?
Yeah.
Getting stale, man. Look what happened to Pittsburgh. They won 2 Stanley Cups, and they were good after, but they never moved any of their guys. You can't have the same guys on your team for 10 years and expect to be successful. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm not sure there's any wrong answers here. I just like grinding your gears.
And you do it well.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, are you going to have a prediction segment, Rod? I feel like we're in it right now. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I feel like we're in it right now. I've gone on record many times as saying Calgary versus Florida in the Stanley Cup final. You've soundly scoffed at that, but that's fine. I mean, who else? I mean, Colorado is the odds-on favorite. They've come in as the number one team in everybody's power rankings.
Calgary's not going to be Colorado.
You actually said Colorado, New York Rangers, did you not? Was that your
At one point, I said the Rangers. The way Randy feels about the Leafs is the way I feel about the Rangers. I never, ever, ever count the Rangers out. I think they got so many solid players. Like every time I watch, I love watching the Rangers. I'm a huge Glenn Saylor fan. I love watching him. And every time I watch, I'm like, I forgot they have this person, and this guy's good, and Kreider's good, and Zibanejad, and all these guys. The Rangers are so solid.
Ted, saying Calgary, Florida, I feel like we're having a tough time pinning Sarina down on a Stanley Cup final prediction.
I don't even know what I want to eat after this. How am I going to know who's going to be in the Stanley
Nobody's
Cup
going to
final?
remember except me.
God,
Not
if
the
I have
Oilers?
to pick, no, I'm a realist. I don't think so. I mean, it could happen. Look how far they got this year. But Colorado steamrolled everybody. And as they should have, they were the best team by far. Yeah. If I pick the Oilers, then they're going to lose. That's just the way
Fair.
my luck goes.
That's fine.
Can't. Colorado.
Ted in Red Deer says if Phil Kessel breaks the consecutive games played record, what does that mean about physical conditioning? I say this with tongue firmly in cheek. You bring it up and for good reason. And she's a professional fitness coach, group fitness coach, so you're laughing about it already. This guy might set the record for playing the most consecutive games in NHL history on a diet of hot dogs and cheeseburgers.
And he's not that bad. He actually still contributes. That's the thing. I'll say this from a professional standpoint. As a fitness professional, I'll make this as quick as possible. People hold on to bodies. Everybody does. They hold on to what their body wants to hold on to. And he seems to hold on what he's holding on to, just like John Daly. He was a worse golfer when he lost weight because his body adapted to playing at the size he was at. It's about body mechanics and stuff. So how he has the wind, I will never know. But I've seen marathon runners that are not thin. That's what their bodies do. They have endurance. So I guess he's just doing what he's doing.
I say good for him. American-born player, right? There's that, too. So he's going to break it, it appears, and I think it might make everybody rethink their fitness and training regimen. John in Edmonton. Sarina, what do you think of the Hockey Canada scandal? Just wait. We'll take a break and come back on that one. There is news on that breaking on this Tuesday, so we'll get to it when we return. It is the RP Show live from Pompano Beach House on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube Live, and on the radio, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Golf, Hawaii, and the Four Seasons. Imagine picking up your clubs and feeling like a pro for one whole week in paradise. Well, you can get that chance this December with 5-star accommodations, a 3-day tournament at a championship course, and loads of VIP experiences. The Pro Leisure Golf Tour is going to make you feel like a pro, even if your golf game doesn't. So whether you're looking to grab your golfing buddies for a tropical getaway or just wanting to find an exclusive VIP experience to take part in, the PLGT is perfect for you.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Another day, sports talk from paradise on a Tuesday, live on Game Plus Television and WQEE. Well, there is breaking news on this Tuesday, and I'm not ringing the bell. It's not really bell-worthy, but the viewers are asking our take on it. Scott Smith left his role as Hockey Canada's president and CEO today after months of controversy over how the National Sport Organization handled allegations that a group's sexual assault involving members of the 2018 team. The entire board of directors also resigned today. The wholesale change at the National Sport Organization came after a disastrous hearing involving Hockey Canada executives before the Standing Committee for Heritage Canada last week. Here are some of the reactions from across Canada on the leadership change at Hockey Canada. This from Liberal MP Anthony Housefather, who sits on the Heritage Committee. If the Heritage Committee had not gone as badly as it did for Hockey Canada, I don't think this would have happened. This wasn't their intention going into the meeting. Their intent on the way to the meeting was to tell everybody that the media was all wrong and they were being scapegoated and they were fine. And I think that then the meeting and everything that followed from there has led to this. His opinion from Bloc Québécois MP Sébastien Lemire, who also sits on the Heritage Committee. After months of pressure from MPs, sponsors, the media, and the general public, the leadership at Hockey Canada has now accepted the evidence. The inquiries will now follow their course, and we will contend to demand an independent inquiry to shed some light on the dated and opaque management of Hockey Canada and force a real examination of its practices. I'll stop there. I've given my thoughts. I wrote them in my weekend column, and I'll give them again. But first, Sarina, they asked for yours, not mine. You've been around the Hockey Canada people. You're at the World Juniors in Edmonton. How do you feel?
I feel like if there was any type of blame to be laid, then something should have been done. However, I don't work for Hockey Canada, and I don't know what happened when the allegations came up 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know how it was dealt with. There was never any allegations that it was dealt with improperly at the time. So I don't really feel like, is this really going to appease everybody is my question. Maybe it is. Maybe everybody just wanted someone to pay, and now it's, but some of the comments that I've been reading over the last couple of days refer to the fact that there's multiple sides to this. And I tend to generally agree that the people that are responsible are the people that committed the crime, not the people that are being held accountable. So why aren't we holding accountable the people that actually committed the crime instead of letting them hide behind everything? Why do you want Hockey Canada's head? Why do you want a specific person's head? Someone stepped down the other day that didn't even work for Hockey Canada when this happened. How does that solve any problems is my thing. Now, again, I don't know everything, but a lot of people that comment don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I just feel like if a crime was committed in any way, shape, or form, that person needs to be punished. If the victim has said, I'm not pressing charges, end of it. That's the end of it, right? For that victim. I don't know. This is a tough one because there's so many stories going around. It's impossible to tell.
Well, who knows the truth, per se? Patrolman Pete in Winnipeg says Andrea Skinner is a $1,000 an hour Bay Street lawyer, and yet she still totally bungled Hockey Canada's appearance at the House of Commons committee beyond belief. Yes, but she was answering for Hockey Canada. She knows what she was told. She certainly wasn't in the middle of it. She, was a stand-in chairman of Hockey Canada. So I think where we're at here, and again, having been around Hockey Canada people, not just at the World Juniors, but for a very long time, the people that should bear the most responsibility are long gone. And it's the people that are in these roles now that are they want a pound of flesh. The public wants a pound of flesh, and they don't care whose they get, they just want it. That's the sense that I'm getting.
But who's the problem?
The players that committed it.
The players did this wrong. Let's not lose focus on who's in the wrong. Now, and I'm not defending them when I say this, but whether they did or didn't do it is subject to whatever, right? They probably did. I don't know. But I can't sit here and say this guy's a bad person because he did this. So I don't know why everybody's going blasting on Hockey Canada like they didn't do anything. They did it. They tried to protect the privacy of the person who accused these players of doing it. She could have come out 4 years ago, and you can't tell me they paid her off. She went to the police. It was dealt with, in my opinion, accordingly at the time, doing with what they knew.
Well, it's an interesting debate. It's what makes this show popular, I think, but it is difficult. We're going by what we see in the media and what we've heard, talking to people one-on-one, probably more talks than John Q. Public has had. The Barfly says, has Hockey Canada come clean and given up every slush fund incident they covered? Well, number one, I think that's part of the misinformation that Hockey Canada has a problem with. And this is coming from me in no way, shape, or form through discussions I've had with Hockey Canada. But I own two businesses with insurance. The fund was for uninsured liabilities, which may include sexual abuse cases. And the vast majority of it went to the Graham James accusers. This has all been reported. It wasn't a fund with player fees to cover up rape cases. That's not what it was. And that's what's been purported by a lot of the media, and that's what people like you believe, that it was a slush fund to cover that up, and that is not correct. That's part of what I think Hockey Canada is so upset about. Go ahead.
On that note, how come nobody's holding the Swift Current Broncos accountable when Graham James was a head coach there and people knew what was going on? That's because that's a story I heard. People knew. I don't know if they did or not. How come everybody said, no, he's the bad guy? But they're not in this instance. I don't understand it. What's the difference? What's the difference?
Because that was then. This is a different time in society now. That's what the difference is.
Right, but how can you sit there and say that Hockey Canada needs to burn at the stake for this when, I don't understand why people love to hate or point fingers when they don't really know what's going on.
No, but the interesting part is Scott Smith steps down as president and CEO, and for months he wasn't going to for all the reasons that I've pointed out already, but the mob mentality is winning. Ken Friedman says this was really putting Sarina on the spot. I hope she was okay with that. She can handle it. She's fine. I asked her before we went on, by the way, but thank you, Ken. Allie in Texas says, man, Rod, you should have Sarina on here more. I like her. I like her, too. You want to come on more?
Sure.
Okay.
So does that little girl behind you.
That was easy. From Patrolman Pete in Winnipeg says, I have to admit, this is a highly compelling segment. Well, I'm glad you feel that way. I'd rather be talking about tonight's NHL games, but this is what's breaking news. JT says it's a shame the perpetrators are allowed to continue on with their lives as is. John in Edmonton says if those players are in the NHL, they should be stripped of their NHL status. No one was charged.
That's the thing. Listen.
No one's been charged.
I don't disagree with somebody should be held accountable, but again, if a charge hasn't been laid, you can't say you shouldn't be allowed to play or you shouldn't be allowed to do this or shouldn't be allowed to do that. It's just a fact.
I would also say this, and it's, what do they say? The horse is out of the barn or we're too far down this road. But what would you do differently? I can just imagine the conversation when the president of Hockey Canada at the time, who incidentally is long gone and whose name has not come up in any of this, was told this incident happened at this event. No one was charged. What would you do differently than the way that they did it? We'll be back with overtime. Maybe we'll actually talk about the NHL season. That's why we came here today. We're at the Beach House in Pompano Beach, Florida. You're watching on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks and make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports? You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact The Rod Pedersen Show today.
Okay. Welcome back, everybody. It's overtime, proudly brought to you by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the National Hockey League and the UFC. And we've gotten to the portion that we call viewer takeover here at the Beach House. Sarina Taylor stayed with us, our hockey analyst, and she'll be here. Isn't it? It's great that hockey started. You said it's hockey year-round, but
yeah,
it's for realsies
awesome.
now.
It's
yes.
awesome. Tonight's game, I'm really looking forward to that.
Which one?
Tampa Rangers game. I could care less anytime Vegas plays, to be honest. Don't care.
Stop it. Well, I'll just say this. Wayne in Victoria, BC says, "Hi, Rod. I can understand your troubles trying to follow junior hockey back in Canada. I had that problem when I moved to BC back over 10 years ago. The coverage is, when I say going downhill, I don't mean it's getting worse. There isn't any. I go to Greg Drinnan's blog. He updates it twice a week, and thank God he's not getting paid for it. There's no blogs. There's no coverage. All the reporters have been fired. Like, yeah, I can look at the score sheets and the scores. I want the coverage. It's not there, and it's not my job to pick it up. I'm sorry." Stephen writes in. He says, "Greetings and hallucinations from cloudy Minot, North Dakota. Will the NHL take off the dresses and play old-style physical hockey? Will hockey enforcers be allowed to protect star players?" He's referring, by the way, to Troy Aikman's comments last night on Monday Night Football. I need your, as a female, but a sports participant and all the rest, now a media person again. Troy Aikman says the NFL needs to take the dresses off. Stop with Chance. He's getting in a lot of trouble for that. Should he?
No. The way I operate is truth hurts. And if you don't like something I say, that's because of the way you perceived it. If it had nothing to do with you personally, then if the shoe fits, wear it. That's just the way I operate, though. So I appreciate that kind of stuff. Having said that, what Paul Bissonnette said about female hockey fans, I'm not cool with. Do we need to refresh the viewers?
Please do. I didn't know about it till producer Clark told me. Tell our viewers what he said.
He said that the only reason half the women watch hockey is because the players are good looking. And he's a complete moron. And I hope he sees this because he's an embarrassment. I'm sad he's Canadian. I've always thought he was a punk. And even when Wayne told him in the playoffs to kind of shut up and land the plane, I was like, yeah, exactly. Wayne's a classy guy, and you got this punk next to him. And then when he said that, I'm like, okay, Roenick, sit down, stop yipping at the mouth. But Aikman, what Aikman's saying is completely different. Go for it. Say it. You're Troy Aikman. You can say whatever you want.
I think so. But back to the Hockey Canada Swift Current Broncos thing. Now's a different time than then. I think Troy Aikman will probably get away with this with a warning. I'm all for it, too. But you know what's going to happen is the sponsors start complaining. That's when we're going to hear.
Well, and we don't even want to go down that Hockey Canada road again, but it was monkey see, monkey do with the sponsors. If we don't pull out, we look like the bad guys. I'm just a real person through and through, and I don't play those games. If you don't step down, we're pulling our sponsorship. Come on. Tiger Woods is still golfing. Nobody cares what he did. Let it go, people. Let it go.
Ryan Swanson watching in Martinsville. Text in on the 902 line. He says, is Connor getting 50 goals this year? Signed Swanee. Bedard or McJesus?
Come on.
There's two Connors.
Only one person here cares about the younger of the two. I'm just kidding.
The entire National Hockey League cares about the younger of the two.
Listen.
And the older of the two. Connor Bedard, can I just answer it and say that? Connor Bedard might not score 50 because he's on not a great team and he's going to miss because of World Juniors and all the other various things that these kids get pulled into. So I will say Connor Bedard won't score 50. He struggled to score 50 last year. And McDavid, well, obviously, he's going to have 100 points. I get your question.
So the excuses are already coming out about Bedard. And secondly,
I'm trying to figure out the answer to the McDavid one.
Yeah, McDavid should. He should, realistically. He should. He's the best player in the NHL. Probably the best one we've ever seen, let's be honest. He should. Yes. That I'll commit to.
I was going to say, that's not exactly an answer.
Yes.
John Kirby in Edmonton says, Rod, will TSN pull coverage of the World Juniors? Oh, from Allie in Texas. She says, I freaking love her. Well, there you go. You have a fan in Texas.
I
Congratulations.
know. Thank you, Allie. At least somebody does. It's all good.
John says, Rod, will TSN pick up? Well, TSN's leading the coverage of the scandal. Rick Westhead. So there's that. I don't know. We are 2 months out from the World Juniors, just a little over 2 months. And the tournament's supposed to be in Halifax. And full disclosure, we're supposed to be there. We were there at the last tournament.
There's a lot that can happen, I think, between then. I don't think they will. If TSN pulls their coverage, the entire country will rage. Somebody will likely step in, but, I mean, it's too late to put anything together last month. I don't think they will. I think it'll be good.
While we're at it, let's get all of Sarina's tantrums out of the way. John Ohm in Winnipeg says, ask Don Cherry if he can say whatever he wants. Still mad at how that all went down.
That was crooked. That was crooked. That was a fix. That was everybody trying to get rid of him. So there's another thing. Who do you blame for that? Right? He didn't say anything inappropriate. We all know that. And technically, and because I've worked in the media, it has to fall under discrimination, racism, sexism. It did not fall under any of those things. So how can you justify terminating an employee if they don't say something that falls under those categories? Anywhere you work, it's not okay to say stuff like that, but come on.
Ryan in Saratoga, New York says pulling sponsorships is just the corporate bullying in the name of good PR.
Yeah, he's right, for sure.
Oh, I don't
Absolutely.
argue it.
Yeah.
From the SJHL, hey everyone, great show today. Love hearing the takes from Sarina. I'll be getting them for the rest of the day. So,
well, I'm sure.
David in Winnipeg's back on our NHL preview, by the way. And we haven't even talked about the Jets, and I wanted to today. David in Winnipeg says, should Winnipeg Jets fans be optimistic with Bones behind the bench with what he did in Dallas? I think the Jets might surprise.
Yes, I agree. The Jets have it. I think they've gotten rid of a little bit of toxicity there, and it's going to roll a little bit better. I agree. Yeah.
The interesting thing is here in Florida, man, Randy Moller brought it up, 13 new players from last year and a new coach. That's unbelievable for a President's Trophy winning team.
Yeah. Well, I was telling Randy, I said, it behooves me. That's not the right word. I'm not pleased that the Calgary Flames made out like a bandit in that trade of all teams.
Did they ever? Oh, you're bringing out your Shiv talk now. It behooves you, huh?
Behooves me.
Carlos in Indianapolis says, like you said, Rod, sponsors come and go all the time. I don't know. I started to think that I was nuts when I was saying that, and then I'm doubled down on that. Sponsors forced the change to the name Elks, and I don't like it. From Ryan O Radio from WQEE. Great show again. Wonderful guest.
Yes.
Who are we talking about?
Yeah, probably Randy.
Craig, our director of scouting, Craig Smith, says, I agree. Jets will surprise. Well, they're not going tonight, but they'll be fun to follow. Yeah. Patrolman Pete, great show today. Enjoyed Sarina's hot takes. What do you say? I guess you'll do it again.
I know.
We'll bring you back.
I wonder if anybody's really concerned that we're very warm here.
Thanks, Beach House, for having us. See you next time.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Who has more fun than us?
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.